Hi fellow gardeners, welcome to Garden with Jenny. I'm Jenny. So this is about the third time I've tried taking this video. One, because the other day I took it, went to upload it, and it didn't upload correctly, and now the file's corrupted, so that's great. Take two was about 10 minutes ago, and then I got interrupted by Anakin, who had to go out to go to the bathroom, so here I am again, starting over. And here's take three. Anyways, Anakin is our Australian Shepherd Golden Retriever puppy mix, which I think I may have mentioned last video. He was in the last clip, but I lost the last clip now, so sorry about that. So you don't get to see him this time, unless he decides to cooperate, which I don't think that's gonna happen. You hear him whining over there. He just wants attention. Anyways, I want to do a houseplant tour, welcome spring, and just try and get this done all in one shot, being under like 15 minutes and not getting interrupted by Anakin. Whew, that's a lot. So, let's start with happy spring. Spring has sprung. I was just out in the garden with Anakin, like I said, I just took him out, and crocuses were up. Last week, they're starting to the blooms are starting to fade now. I'm noticing the daffodils are now starting to emerge. Their green leaves are starting to emerge in the garden. Peonies are starting to emerge in the garden. The iris is already there. What else is out there? That's pretty much it for right now. The trellis outside that has the climbing... Anakin! Come here! Come here! The rose that's on the trellis outside, the trellis blew over in a windstorm this year, so that is not in good shape. But anyways, happy spring. It's nice to see plants. Also, I don't know if I told you in the last video, which was about a month ago, I don't know if it was before or after I started, but I started working at Lowe's. So April 2nd will be 2 months that I've already been there working diligently and as hard as I can and all that stuff, because that's the way I am. It's great because I'm the live nursery sales specialist, so I get to deal with all the plant material. I have 4 people that are going to be underneath me that are going to be my designated waterers. So basically, I'm going to go through and flag things that need to be watered. They're going to go through and water, and I'm going to be servicing customers. It all sounds smooth. We will see. It's already starting to get busy, and things are a little wonky as it is, because I'm still new to the position and still learning at the same time. But I'm getting better day by day, and that's all you can take it, is day by day. Anyways, let's get you turned around for this houseplant tour so I don't take up your whole day here. So we're going to start down here on the plant cart that's small. You can see there's 4 plants there when I used to cram a bunch more on here. Eventually, some things will come off of the windowsill and potentially move down to the plant cart. But right now, I am just leaving it the way it is. So on the right here is my dreadful peace lily that I'm trying to rehabilitate. When I went back home to Buffalo, I left Sean in charge of watering, and I didn't give him very good directions, I suppose, as to when he should be watering the peace lily, and plus it's still always a guessing game. So you can see that there's a new sprout right there, and this one's starting to push out a new sprout as well. So that is definitely a work in progress plant. Here's Anakin. Anakin! Look at the pretty boy. Look at that face. Look at him sit right down. Being a good puppy. Hi. Hi, buddy. Hi. He's a beautiful dog. He's really soft. Like I said, he's Australian Shepherd Golden Retriever mix. He's like 4 months old now or something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyways, back to the houseplant tour. As much as I love my puppy, let's do the plants. Thanksgiving cactus bloomed twice this year, and Anakin ate one of the blooms. Here he is, being a big mouth again. He ate one of the blooms. It really tested my patience because I only had 2 on it, and he ate the one. That really made me mad, but it is what it is. One of my oldest Phalaenopsis orchids here has a pretty nice new leaf going. I'm hoping that it widens out a little bit because it looks a little skinny. And he's got a nice healthy root. He's got some dead and decayed roots in here from the medium starting to break down and stuff, but there are some healthy roots in there still as well. So pretty soon I'm going to be bringing home some orchid sphagnum moss to repot him in and get him repotted. He has not bloomed for me since I've had him, and I've had him about 3 years now, so maybe this year. Then, this beautiful thing is the Bird of Paradise plant that I bought for Sean for Valentine's Day. It was a surprise because they're his favorite plant. From Florida, they had like 10-foot tall ones, or 8 or 10 feet tall ones on the golf course we worked at down there. So, when I saw this, I had to buy it. I got it for $3. Honestly, like, how can you go wrong for $3? But this leaf here is a brand new leaf. This one here is a brand new leaf. And overall, it seems to be very healthy. I don't have any spots on the leaves right now, which is a really good indication that I'm watering it properly, which makes me really happy. Then, this orchid here I just bought from Lowe's when I first started. Got it for $5. It was marked down because the flower spikes are dead. You can see I still have the flower spikes on there. I just haven't taken them down yet. I was hoping that maybe it would have developed a kiki or a secondary spike from one of the nodes here, but it hasn't done it yet. Anyways, but its root system is fairly nice in size. The roots are nice and green because it's been watered relatively lately. And yeah, it's in this cute little decorative pot, which I know the decorative pot itself doesn't allow things to dry down very well, but I like the way it looks, and as long as I'm careful with watering, it'll be alright. Behind it is the snake plant, which has a new leaf coming from the center again. You can see him right here. This was the last one, so not as tall as the one behind it, but that's alright. And then it started this one here. It's happy as can be in that pot. I don't have any problems with that snake plant whatsoever. And I have it just sitting in a pot that my mom painted for me, which I think I've shown you guys that pot before. Then here's my poor croton, which you can see, maybe, there's some new buds right at the tip. It's starting to go. I'm concerned, obviously this is bad, but I don't understand why this did this. To me, it indicates that it's sat dry because it started at the tip and it's starting to work its way up the leaf. But right now, it's wet. So, and I really hate the fact that it's like this big long stem and then dinky leaves. So, I've been fertilizing it, you know, trying to help it along, but it's just struggling a bit still. The anthurium is still doing alright. It's got some damage from when I went home to Buffalo, but that's alright. It'll recover at some point. This is the peace lily that I brought home from Spades. It's had this spike here for a really long time that's been like about that size. So I'm not entirely sure if it's actually doing anything at all. It hasn't put anything new out other than that. It's in a really large pot, but I haven't had the time to transfer it into a smaller one. So I've just been doing some really light watering. Just so that it's not constantly sitting wet. Because what was happening was everybody was hammering this poor thing with water at Spades, and because that's their practice, and it just drowned. There's an aloe piece back there that I'm actually trying to see if I can root. I don't think it's working, but I'm trying. I am definitely trying. You gotta try to learn. And then I have some more succulent pieces down here on the bottom that we're starting to root, that I'm rooting down there, which is exciting. I also bought this little guy from work. You can see that this leaf cutting, so to speak, I didn't really cut it, it just broke off and I stuck it in there. You can see that it's grown some roots. There's its little root system. And even though it's blurry, you can see the little plant on the end. So that's kind of exciting. And the two main plants are still doing really well. I've had this for a couple of weeks now, and it's not experiencing any true issues like what I was having with the big one that Sean gave me for our anniversary. What I like about this glass container, even though it doesn't have a drainage hole, I can actually see the moisture level in the soil. I can see the different shades, like when it's wet down here and when it's dry. So that's helping me really monitor when this needs water, because like I'm looking at this right now and I can see there's actually a line right here that this down is wet still. And the rest is dry on the top. So that's helping me monitor my own watering practices. And then my mini Phalaenopsis that Sean got me last year, he feels like he actually needs some water. But these roots down here look pretty good. He has a new root. And a new shoot. So he's doing fairly well. His root system down there looks good. I don't see any browning roots or anything like that. So I'm just gonna let him kind of keep cruising right there. Now I know you can see maybe that there's water in there. I can't really tell because I have the brightness down on my iPod. Lately I've been watering them right here on the windowsill, and just trying to let them soak up stuff, and then I'll dump the water out later. So I really should have dumped that water, but the pot itself is not sitting in it. So it's not that huge of a deal. This beautiful African violet is the one that I got for free for my birthday. I just cleaned him up and deadheaded a lot of his blooms because a lot of his blooms were brown. So here's his beautiful color display, and you can see I've got a couple more flower spikes coming. Some of these older leaves that are really light in color, I will end up pull off and getting rid of, or potentially trying to do cuttings. I don't think this here is all old. These are the oldest leaves, and I don't really want to leave the oldest leaves on all the time. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to beef this plant up so it looks like the other one, which you'll see in a minute. But he's been flowering really prolifically for me, and I love his color, and he's just doing really well. Next is my first mini Phalaenopsis that I've ever had. He's doing really well. This right here is the leaf that grew in Buffalo. You can see it's really skinny and looks almost dehydrated. And then this was a buffalo leaf, and then you can see they start to get bigger and wider and fatter and just better looking. So this guy really likes this window. You can also see there's two new roots. There's one here, here, and one up there. And then oh, it's not this one, it's the other one. But actually there's another root coming right in there. So that's pretty exciting. I'm trying to rotate them so that each day they try to straighten back up in their pots. Doesn't necessarily always happen. But again, I've been watering him in his cup. There's no water in his cup right now. But as long as the root system, which looks good down here, he's definitely wet. So I won't be watering him because you can see, I don't know if you can see that. The roots are still green. So I'm going to wait for them to go silver again before I water him. And then this one my parents bought me for my birthday. You can see he's got four new aerial roots. And if you look beyond this one, there's a little nub. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. There's a little nub there, and I'm hoping that that's going to be a flower spike. So that would be pretty exciting. This actually flowered in October, so I'd be really pleased if it bloomed again already. This time I may try and actually support it to the spike. Usually I leave them kind of just hang down and they kind of make this like J-hook style. And I actually really like that, but I think it would be nice to have it go upward like it's supposed to. And you can see he's got a new leaf there as well. So he's doing pretty well. His root system, as you can see, is the majority of it. Maybe you can see it. There's still a little bit of moisture in the pot, as you can see, the water droplets. But, oh, look at all those root tips. Those are happy. This is a happy guy. Holy moly. The majority of his root system is silver. So tomorrow he'll probably get some water. And here's my other African violet. Blooming away. He's got a bunch of flower buds that still want to open. This was the first African violet I had. And he's still really thick, happy, healthy. Now when they're this thick, it is supposedly getting too much sun. But I'm not going to interrupt what this little plant has been doing on this windowsill. He's been thriving, and I have no complaints. And last but certainly not least, this is my most pride and joy plant right now, if realistically. And it's my Crown of Thorns. As you know, from last year, when my parents brought it down to me, it had spider mite, so I sprayed it with Mitex, which is clove garlic oil, and it completely defoliated. Well, here it is now, full and beautiful. Actually, it looks like it needs some water, but you can see he's blooming. This, I am so proud of, that he's blooming just this little bit. When I saw the first flowers open, I got so happy. I jumped up and down, and I ran around the room. And my husband probably thought I was a Looney Tune, but honestly, look at how cool that is. I didn't even know those flowers did that, okay? It's just probably one of the most rewarding things I've had, is because I took this plant from looking really good to completely defoliating, bringing it back to completely covered in leaves again, looking like an all-star, which is still looking like an all-star, and now it's blooming. Sure, the blooms aren't like a grandiflora rose, or I should say a floribunda rose. They're not everywhere. There's only a few, but I'm really pleased to see them because it shows me that my hard work and perseverance paid off, and that's really important. It's a really good lesson for people in the industry to not give up when you think you've made an astronomical mistake. Imagine if I would have threw it out when it completely defoliated and I thought it died. I wouldn't have this awesome plant now. So I guess the lesson is, 1, persevere beyond your imagination. Because honestly, at the time, I was just like, well, it's probably not going to come back, but I'm going to try it anyways. So keep trying and persevere past any kind of obstacle that you see within the industry or even in anything in life, because honestly, that plant wouldn't be here if I didn't try. 2, you make a mistake with a plant, like overwatering or spraying the wrong stuff on it and potentially killing it. Now, obviously, if I would have sprayed Roundup on it, there was no hope. But try and save it. Just try. Try and save it. You know, it's the hardest thing I think about horticulture sometimes is watering. It's knowing when to water, how often to water. It's the biggest hardship, I think, for a lot of people. Even for myself, I struggle with the 2 still. But just keep trying, don't give up, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Anyways, I have to go fold laundry now because I'm an adult. And I'm going to go play with my puppy, who's spread eagle over there on the floor, just laying around. But if you've tuned in and you've made it to the end of this video, thank you for being here. I will always thank you for being here and listening to me and being on this journey with me of discovering new plants, discovering new techniques, and just being surrounded by the most beautiful things in nature. So you know the drill. Until next time, stay green, folks.